Almost 1 in 3 Canadians have diabetes. About 80% of them will die from heart disease or stroke. Pretty sobering statistics from the Canadian Diabetes Association. Well, this Saturday, a Diabetes Wellness Expo is being held in St. Boniface. I'll have details later. But first, let's talk to one of the conference presenters and organizers. My guest is Holly Brownlee. She's a home economist with the Canadian Diabetes Association. Thank you for coming in, Holly. Appreciate that.
Brian.
What's going to happen at the Wellness Expo?
Well, we're very excited. We have a keynote speaker. His name's Chris Everhardist, and he's a he's a nurse, and he's also a certified diabetes educator. We're also very lucky to have about 10 diabetes experts, such as dietitian, nurse, doctor, pharmacist, who will be there to answer people's diabetes questions.
Okay, now you brought in some examples here. What will these be presented at the conference as well, or at the expo?
No, this is just some information, some practical information about eating well and eating healthy. As we know, diabetes can be prevented or delayed through eating well. So, we've all probably seen this resource before. It's Eating Well with Canada's Food Guide. It talks about the serving sizes and how many servings we should be eating every day. But the thing is sometimes it's hard to remember what one serving is equal to.
Right.
So we have this really neat tool that's easy for us to remember what one serving is equal to.
What is that?
Well, let me tell you. So, as you know, there's 4 food groups, and I'll start with grain products. So, I have here a potato, and if I make a fist, you can see that it's about the same size as my fist.
Right.
Maybe a little bit smaller, but it's about the size of my fist. So, this is one serving. All right, so if I move on to fruits and vegetables, so I'll take this orange, and if I make a fist again, it's about the same size.
Yeah, right.
So, one fist is one serving of fruits. Now, vegetables is a little bit different. I have here some carrot and celery, and if I take a handful here, that's 1 handful and 2 handfuls. So I have a little bit more than 1 serving here, but that's okay. More vegetables is always better.
Okay.
So if we cup our hands together, this is 1 serving of vegetables.
Beautiful.
All right?
Okay.
So that's fruits and vegetables and carbohydrates. So let's move on to milk and alternatives. So there's no real rule using our hands, but 1 cup is 1 serving.
1 cup, 1 serving.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So other milk alternatives are yogurt and cheese. So cheese, 50 grams is 1 serving. I don't carry a scale around. I don't know what 1 serving is.
Neither do I.
So let me give you a nice little trick here. If we take our 2 index fingers, it's about the length of our 2 index fingers and the thickness of our index fingers. So that's 1 serving of cheese.
Perfect.
Kind of neat. So the last food group is meat. And if we take our meat, many people are surprised by this, but it's about the size of our palm and the thickness of our baby finger. So for me, this is 1 serving of meat. So we often get more than this in one sitting. But is that bad? Not necessarily. It just means you're getting 2 servings in 1 sitting.
Oh, I see.
So maybe you'll want to think, okay, maybe I'll have a vegetarian option the next meal.
Right, gotcha. Oh, that's great. The size of your palm. Okay.
Yeah.
Now there's some diabetes myths where you want to bust. Okay, let's get into that first one. You can have borderline diabetes.
Yeah, this is one I hear often. Well, let me ask you a question. If I said I'm borderline pregnant, what would you say?
You're either pregnant or you're not.
That's exactly it, and that's the same with diabetes. So you can have something called prediabetes. That's when your blood sugars are higher than normal, but not high enough to be considered having diabetes. But there's no such thing as borderline. You either have diabetes or you don't have diabetes.
Okay, so let's get on to the next one. Insulin being a cure?
Nope. There's no cure for diabetes. Insulin is used to manage our diabetes, and many people think insulin's only used for type 1 diabetes, but in fact it can be used for type 2 diabetes as well.
For both types. Okay, great. Now the next one, we have type 2 diabetes, which is the most common one that people have.
That's
I think 80% of people with diabetes
It's actually
have
closer
type 2.
to 95%.
95?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay. So can it go away?
No, it can't go away. But the good news is it can be managed. And it can be managed by eating well, being physically active, and people can live a healthy life if they take control of their diabetes. And so that's why we offer programs and services like our Diabetes Expo that's coming up this Saturday, where people can come and learn about how they can manage their diabetes, talk to the experts, visit some exhibitors, and listen to our wonderful keynote speaker.
Excellent. Well, let's give them the details then.
Oh, right.
But first, thank you very much for coming in. I appreciate that. That's Holly Brownlee, a home economist Economist with the Canadian Diabetes Association here in Winnipeg. Now, the details about the Diabetes Wellness Expo. It runs this Saturday, April 24th. It'll be held in the gym and atrium of the Winnipeg Evangelical Free Church at 500 La Jamaudière. That's between the Mint and Bishop Grandin Boulevard. The expo runs from 9:30 in the morning to 12:30. It costs $10 to get in, and there is abundant free parking. That's your health for today. Please stay with us for more BT after the break.